Now the concept is self incompatibility. What do we mean by incompatibility? Mismatch. To understand it better, self incompatibility means plant wants not to be compatible for the gametes of the same plant. So the egg of a plant does not want to be fertilized by male gamete of same plant. This is self incompatibility. Why it does not want to be fertilized by the gamete of the same genetic makeup? So what do we call it as? Self fertilization. So a plant does not want self fertilization but wants cross fertilization, because cross fertilization has greater probability of better variations. Self fertilization also shows variations because there is a meiosis, but as the generation goes, if it is continuously self fertilizing, the recessive alleles also repeat and unwanted phenotypes increase. The survivability chances of species decrease and it may become extinct. So to avoid this, it wanted variations from cross fertilization. So it would structurally, functionally employ multiple methods to discourage self fertilization and encourage cross fertilization. Like as the slide is saying, morphological means external structure. Morphological self incompatibility means plant would adapt a variation in structure to avoid self fertilization and to promote cross fertilization and adaptation. But this is not 100% successful. There will always be self fertilization. But it also wanted cross fertilization so that the variations can be better. Now we are going to see something of that structural adaptations. We have something called as triheterostyly. So if I split this word, the word style means style only, the style of carpel. Then hetero means different styles. So when I say sexual reproduction happens within same species, if I say different styles, then that would not make sense. Structurally, the style will have, how are they different? In their length. But same species. Tri means we see them in 3 different lengths to avoid self fertilization. Now you see the picture. This is very interesting. Now you take this as the carpel. And you take these as the anthers. So here I have 2 anthers in every case and 1 carpel in. So this is one flower, this is one type of flower, and this is another type of flower. Now such variations in the same gene expression are possible. You would have done blood groups. This is possible because of multiple alleles. So the multiple alleles of the same gene in a diploid organism, we have long, medium and short style. So if you can see, this is long style, this is stigma, and this is the style part, and I have ovary. So this entire structure represents carpel. Then I have two anthers in a flower. Anther, anther, anther. Now if this is stigma, I have the long stigma, I have the medium length stigma, I have the small length. These lengths are relative in the same species. Now I have the anthers also. In a flower which has long morph of stigma, I have a medium height anther and a small anther. In the style with this medium length, I have a long anther and a small anther. And in the third morphological variation, I see a long and medium, but I see a short stigma of the carpel. Now if you see, the second and third flowers of the same species show the long anthers, and they would pollinate the pollen to the same level stigma, because the anthers of the same flowers are not in alignment with the height of the stigma. This is because of the difference in the length of the style. Now if you see, I have a medium long stigma and I have anthers from the first and third flowers in alignment with the medium length stigma. Now here there is a possibility of the pollen forming here. I told you we can't prevent self-fertilization, but the entire strategy is to promote cross-fertilization. Now if you see the small stigma of the third flower, I have the anthers from the first and the second flower pollinating the stigma. So these two will pollinate that corresponding level. These two will pollinate that corresponding level. And these two will pollinate that corresponding level stigma. So how is it able to promote cross-fertilization? Here also it is cross-fertilization. I did not see pollen from the anthers of the same flower. Here also it is cross-fertilization because I did not see pollen from the same flower. Here also it is cross-fertilization because I did not see pollen from the same flower. So this is a structural adaptation with variations in the length of the style in the same species because of multiple alleles, so that it would promote cross-pollination in majority than self-pollination. I repeat again, self-fertilization is not prevented completely. This is triheterostyly.